With ale.
Hello everybody! Welcome back once again to the Divinity walkthrough. Alright, so the last video there, we took care of, I think, everything.
I'm drenched.
Well, I shouldn't say it. So, we took care of the final major quest line, I guess I'd say, in Hunter's Edge there. So obviously the human guys are leaving, and I just wanted to see where they went. And that was kind of funny, the one guy got froze there. So they're all gonna leave and then just, I think, kind of disappear over here. Yeah, they start kind of running super fast and like
What a deluge.
no, yeah, they're all disappearing. Poof, 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 poof. Okay. All right, so they've gone back to whatever pillage other places, I think, is what the one guy was saying. But all right. So I guess we're kind of now free to explore the rest of Hunter's Edge. This cave just leads back to the prison. So yeah, kind of a dead end, I guess I'd say here. So we're going to take the other path. And I think there's, I want to say there's like a slaver and a troll up here. And I guess it depends on how you want to handle this, but I'm trying to remember exactly how I went about it. But I know you can fight them all. And actually, I think the slaver has an immaculate amulet, so if you still need one for, I guess, the events in, what would it be? What do you need the amulets for? Like getting into Sacred Stone and stuff? And I guess technically Hunter's Edge, so like if you came here first, and you know, instead of going to Hunter's Edge, if you came over here and grabbed this guy's amulet, you could get in without having to do the rock paper scissors game. But I don't know, whatever. It's easy enough to get in there. I think first time I ever went into Hunter's Edge, I did use the rock paper scissors game to get in, and you don't, like I said, you don't even need an amulet that way. But yeah, gosh, what else? I think that might be it. So I don't know, not that useful.
Hold on now, one whelp at a time. You'll pay your toll soon as I'm through knocking this loudmouth back in line. The fool thinks he can slick 6 warm bodies past Rumble for the price of one, he does. Lousy bomb, may as well thieve from King Gungia's very coffers.
If I've said it once, I've said it more times than a troll can count. Warm bodies do not people make. We are 3 immaculates and 3 slaves, and I won't empty my pocket over chattel.
This sounds like a matter of opinion. These two ought to resolve it on their own terms. No need to insert ourselves where we don't belong. Good day, gentlemen.
Enough. I'll not let this idiot troll or his idiot king hinder the goddess's affairs a moment.
Okay, what did I decide to do there? I missed it, but okay, so that was a materialistic dialogue choice. So I'm gonna reload. Obviously, that's not the way I'm going to handle it. So, being that we're going down the spiritual path. All right. Yeah, let's get her loaded back up here.
Calmer heads ought to prevail here. Let's simply pay the toll for all concerned and move on. We can spare the gold after all. Better to end this conflict before it escalates.
Oh, the gentle tinkling of gold. Intoxicating. Do pass, Skullbearer, and tell your fool of a friend he may do the same.
No wonder you came to my aid. I see you have an immaculate amulet, the very same as mine. The goddess does bless us with good friends and good fortune during our times of need. Hide to the village ahead and rest yourself among your kin, but do take care. Only those in possession of our holy amulets may enter, and the guards are a savage sort. They won't hesitate to gut you if they suspect you aren't one of us.
Go on, march! To our dooms we march!
Okay, well that was easy enough. I know in one of the other playthroughs that I went through, or I'm pretty sure I ended up fighting those guys. So, I either just straight out attacked them, or... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure, but like I said, I'm fairly certain at least one of my other playthroughs I killed like every single one of those guys there, so... anyways, alright, so here we've got, what is this, like an offering bowl? And, I can't remember exactly how much. I think we needed to put 500 gold in there. So let's... I'm just trying to split this stack a couple of times so that I wouldn't have to spend forever trying to, oh, 501 I guess I went with. Yeah, okay. Hold. There we go. So you have to use the hold and then put it in the offering scale. There we go. Generous pilgrim indeed. Okay, garbage. Alright, whatever. But yeah, so kind of interesting there. You got the offering bowl. You can, like I said, I don't, you must have to put in 501 instead of just 500. At least I think so. I don't know. That's my guess. It's weird that I knew that, so I must have either looked that up or remembered it from... I have a hard time believing I remembered it from the last playthrough, but... Okay, so this is the last spot here.
You stand at the very doorstep of dreaded Phantom Forest, and before you enter these woods, I need to tell you something. Something about me and Cassandra. The first thing you should know, my friend, is that I am not a human. I am in fact a true cat. At least, such was my start in life. I will tell you all, and all begins with Cassandra. Her tale is not a happy one. She was kept like a prisoner in her brother Brachus's castle. Locked up, alone in a tower like some fairy tale princess. One day, though, I came along. A young little tomcat that climbed up the branches of a tree, reaching her window. She was kind to me, fed me well and petted me to my heart's content. But her loneliness drove her to do more. She was a sorceress, you see, and with her magic gave me human consciousness and a voice to give it expression. We talked the days away, content to know one another, but once more, her loneliness drove her further. One morning I woke, and to my horror, yes, horror, I was a man. A cat no longer. Don't worry, she assured me. You can be your own self still, but here with me, a man you must be. Despite my confusion and apprehension, I admit it didn't take long for me to enjoy the newfound pleasures of a newfound existence. I loved her truly, loved her deeply. But then her brother took her, and when she returned, she was a lich, twisted and vile. In terror, I recoiled, fled our tower, and was soon discovered by Brachus's sentinels. They dragged me to the Mad King. So enraged was he to discover she had loved another that he feasted all his wrath upon me. All that is sweet and good in life ceased for many long years. Yet, despite it all, I loved Cassandra still, remembering the woman that was. So when the Source Hunters came, I wasn't simply liberated like I told you. No. I searched for Cassandra and, knowing she'd be executed on the spot, helped her make her escape. I, Hunter. I helped a sorceress Lich escape. And that is the very reason I'm divulging all this. To warn you that she is here. Yes, it is true. Cassandra is the phantom that gives Phantom Forest its name. I fear that will indeed be inevitable. This is her forest now. She its queen. No trespass remains without consequence, and I have no clue how her mind twists and turns after all these years. Human yet, or horror only. Humanity. Oh, how I hope, imperfect though it may be, that a glimpse of humanity may still lie buried beneath the Lich Cassandra is today. Be that as it may, stand warned that she possesses phenomenal powers, and that she is impervious to the sting of sword or sorcery. I haven't laid eyes on Cassandra in many ages, Hunter, and I fear for what you may find. Fear for what I may find.
What a tale that was. A cat turned human, soon swept into all kinds of misery for all his troubles. He has lived through the worst humanity has to offer, but at least he briefly knew love, the best. Agreed. Perhaps one day he'll love again and see there is value to be found in being human after all.
Okay, so anyway, so we actually have a little bit of a conversation there with Arhu, and he does tell us about him and Cassandra and their relationship. And obviously there was a dialogue option there that I got a, what was it, another +1 to spiritual. And then, alright, so here we find the body of Alistair, which, yeah, I don't know about that. So Alistair was one of the Fabulous Five here. Or, sorry, that was in Sicil, yes. And, alright, so if you notice, this log's got this weird green fume kind of coming out of it. And if you try to walk through here, you'll just get killed if you don't have the amulet. Now, if you notice there, my character's got a exclamation point overhead, and then it disappears here. So, I don't know why that happens. I noticed that was something that had happened in some of my other playthroughs too, but I don't know exactly why that's the case. But alright, so anyways, there's all kinds of bodies here. And yeah, I don't know why, but there's well, I do know why. So they stick this poisonous fume here. That so keep in mind, this isn't just poison as far as I know. Like, I don't think you can get your poison resistance up super high and then not be affected by this. I think well, I mean, it doesn't appear to be actually poison. If you notice that I just stepped on a poison bomb and got poisoned. But so the problem here is that you've only got one protection amulet from Zandalor's house. And 4 characters. So what we need to do here is get to a safe spot and then use the teleporter pyramids to get across, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. You got to be really careful in this area because obviously if I get into a fight with only one character here, I'm going to probably not do so hot. Well, maybe I would, but let's get everybody else over here. And poof, there we go. Alright, so now we've got everyone together, and you can unequip the protection amulet. You only need it for that one spot. Boom! Yeah, so once you're through the death cloud, you're good to go. So you don't need to have it equipped after that point. But, Yeah, so anyways, like I was saying, the reason why they put that there in the first place was because they don't want you here super early. And so you have to go through, or actually enter Hunter's Edge and do a bunch of the stuff there to get that amulet out. And all right, so what are we taking on here? Some spore-tainted footmen, whatever that means. I don't know what these guys are supposed to be.
Damage from death!
But yeah, so earlier there was all the the bodies that had tried to enter the Phantom Forest and obviously were killed immediately. And then I think, oh yeah, we got okay, source tainted spider. So I believe in this forest here from here on out, almost everything is I don't want to just say like goofy stuff, but like it's a lot of source tainted enemies. So somehow they're able to live here, whereas like your regular orcs and humans and stuff aren't able to make it in here. So yeah, so kind of maybe an interesting observation. Whack. So these spiders are a lot like the ones in the Lacula Forest area, where they can dig down and then appear next to your characters, and then they'll actually end up back where they came from after their turn is done. So they can be a little bit annoying. They're kind of like I don't know if I'd say like highly mobile melee units, but I think they've actually got ranged attacks too. So I don't really know what to consider them now that I think about it. But other than that, here we've got, what is this? This some weird source tainted thingamajig. What was this thing? I'll have to try to highlight him again here. Here we are, source tainted knight. Oh, okay. It doesn't really look like a knight to me. It looks like I don't know, one of those creepy things in Pontius's cave, or the Black Cove, or whatever. There we go. Guy eats dirt. Alright, yeah, there must be another spider or two cruising around out here somewhere. Oh, and then there's that guy, another footman. Okay. I don't know. I probably should have just waited. I don't know that I really needed to walk up here into range to start attacking these guys. But, oh wow, these things are level 18. My. Okay. So yeah, I guess be prepared. But I suppose this is I think this is technically the last, kind of like the last area in the game. Kinda, sorta. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, pretty sure actually this is the last area. I guess technically there's like some dungeons, I guess, kind of like attached to this zone or area. But yeah, for the most part, we're getting close to the end here. Kind of like the final leg. Just good. We're already up to like what? I think I'm at 70. This might be video 77 or something like that. Which I feel like a lot of my playthroughs end up being really close to 100 videos. So we're getting up there. But all right, so that was it. That was the final enemy for that battle has fallen.
Turn back while you can. Go no further. Her realm is death. Cassandra, our queen, our rotting mother, ruler of our souls. I feed the lich. She consumed me. Of her I remain. The Lich Queen, you cannot touch her. You cannot pierce her. You cannot kill her. Forever will she reign. Forever we are her subjects. Turn back.
Alright, but before we get too much farther, I did want to mention one thing in this area here. On the north, or we're on like the northwest side, I guess, of the Phantom Forest. And then what do we have here? Okay. So the forest victims kind of tell you kind of hints about what's going on here. But yeah, so anyways, like on the east side of this area, you have to be really careful. There's these kind of like, I'd almost call them like walking bombs. But so what they are is they're like little patrolling, I don't know, things that are floating. And the problem is once they spot you, they come like right, they just suicide bomb you. And I don't think that you can survive them. At least from what I noticed, I wasn't able to survive them. So I will go over them and show you guys them once we actually find some. But for the time being, I just wanted to point that out. You know, if you're watching the videos and happen to be kind of in this area, because you know, as you always want to do, you always want to save your game a lot. But like those things are one of the trickiest things in the entire game, I would say, because if you're not careful, they can end you just like that, and there's almost nothing that you can do about them if you're not prepared. But anyways, alright, so this fight here, I remember in one of my playthroughs having some major issues with this battle. There are so many enemies, and a couple of them have like just a ridiculous amount of health. And I think in like it might have been my first playthrough. It probably was, because that was the one I think I'd say I struggled with the most for, you know, various reasons. But I would say, I think that first time I ever played, I had to. Oh, that's right. They put this chilling debuff on you, which will freeze you if you hit him twice. So that just adds to the pain in the butt of this battle. So there's a couple of ways that you can deal with that. You can use like the warm effect. Yeah, or you know, if you just happen to have something that makes you immune to frozen, like a ring, or maybe I don't know if armor has it, or if there probably a chest piece might. I'm not even 100% sure on that, but probably rings are your best bet. But you know, to have a bunch of rings for this one battle, probably not realistic. But anyways, so what I did in my first playthrough actually was I used a lot of charm bombs. So I don't remember where I got them from, but probably just picking them up, you know, throughout the course of the game. The only problem with that is my accuracy was really bad. So I'd throw the charm bombs and just miss a lot, or they just wouldn't go where I wanted them to. So it took a couple of times to kind of get it right. But you know, that's one of the things that you can do. You can actually you could either sneak in or like use invisibility and then, you know, pop out of nowhere and then, you know, throw the charm bomb. And that might help you out because obviously once you get these enemies charmed, I mean, obviously they fight amongst each other and they'll like start freezing each other and stuff like that. And so that ends up being highly advantageous. And then obviously the other thing that you can do is summon. You know, obviously that's something that I've been doing throughout the entire game. And then obviously, so I just have the charm, charm spell. So I don't need to, you know, throw charm bombs. But you know, if you don't have access to the charm spell like I do, well, then that might be your, you know, the bombs might be your grenades, I should say. I keep saying bombs, but I think they're considered charm grenades. But anyways, so yeah, so you've got options. It's just The problem with this battle is, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of enemies, and then on top of that, a few of them have a lot of health, and then the frozen effect too. So it's like a bunch of different things kind of working against you that makes the battle really difficult. But yeah, so I just tried to rotate my charms a bit, as well as keep my distance, summon, and here hopefully I decided to charm again, because this character, I see her charm is not on cooldown, so no, it's looking like we're going to keep going. Oh, this is Medora, yeah. Medora's kind of a beast, so I generally, if I can, or if I could, I attacked with her. And then is this guy using Frozen too? Or is he just Frozen? I don't know. Spirit of the Bull. I don't know why this reminded me of, I shouldn't say I don't know why, but I think I know why. So, this reminded me of EverQuest a bit. The Spirit of the Boar, Spirit of the Fox, or whatever, was it the wolf over there? But, what was it, there was one of the classes that had all those cool buffs. I should think it was the Beast Lord, or Beastmaster, whatever they were called. Ugh. Good stuff. Alright, anyways. Temperature. I think. So that's the other advantage though about having the wands too, is if you notice I'm able to attack these guys and not, you know, end up with the frozen status on me, which can be obviously a pretty huge pain in the butt. Oh, these Tenebrium wands! Oh my gosh, so much damage. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. Thunk, 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 thunk. Oh, even going with the enriched. It's a really dumb time to use that. Like right at the end of my turn. Just should have used that right away, but I noticed I did that quite a bit. But I guess that's kind of the advantage of being super over leveled. You know, you can kind of do silly things like that where, you know, had I used that you know, right away at the beginning of a turn, should have done more damage. But again, over leveled and over geared and overconfident. Well, maybe not overconfident. No. Eat it. Oh, finally. Man, that thing had so much health. And chilled and frozen. Ugh, the worst. Yeah, we're getting there though. This guy looks like is he petrified? No, is that debuff? I can't tell. That's what it looks like anyway. It's the other great thing about having these wands with, you know, all these cool different status effects. Like, yeah, they don't always fire, but when they do, they can be really useful. Nope, somebody leveled Ambrosia. She's probably like 20. What is she, 25 now? 24, maybe 24. I'm trying to remember what. I think I ended up at. It was either 24 or 25, I guess, at the end of the game here, and we're pretty much there. So, all right. So after all the undead stuff is dead again. Redeaded, I don't know, whatever. There's a reward chest here, which didn't have much in it that I was interested in. There was it looked like a water, whatchamacallit, you know, thingamabob with the water essence. I probably should have grabbed that, but, yeah, we'll be alright. Everything's gonna be okay. But, alright, well, we're getting right towards the end here, and I don't remember... Oh, yes, this spot. Okay, so, let's continue on here, and we'll get to the waypoint and call it a day. But, yeah, anyways, I'm out of time, so as always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.
But not a note, high or low, does it produce. Its entire body bespeaks an exasperated frustration at being unable to do so. The boar energetically points towards the downward sloping path. Whoever robbed him of his voice might be close by indeed.